What is a priority date and why does it matter? That's what we're talking about in today's episode of Sumner School Family Immigration Basics. My name is Emily Sumner with Sumner Immigration Law. Let's get into it. So what is a priority date? The priority date is the date that an I-130 petition is filed with USCIS. So remember that the I-130 petition is a petition or form that a family member files with USCIS on behalf of another family member to sponsor them for permanent residence. So it's basically saying, I am a US citizen or permanent resident, and I want to sponsor my family member, X person, for permanent residence in the United States. The priority date is important because there is a limited number of green cards, family-based green cards, available every year. Now, remember, there is an exception to that. We talked in previous videos about the immediate relative category. That is spouses, parents, and minor children of US citizens. There is not a limit on the number of green cards available for immediate relative classifications or immediate relative relationships. So you don't have to worry about the priority date as much in those particular types of filings. However, in the preference-based filings, anybody else who's not considered an immediate relative, it's tremendously important. Because, like I said, there's a limited number of green cards available, family-based green cards available every year. There are so many people who want a family-based green card that there is a virtual line of people waiting for a green card. Your place in line will depend on the country that the beneficiary is born in. Beneficiary meaning the family member who's being sponsored. It will depend on the priority date. So again, the date that the I-130 petition is filed, and it will depend on the preference category. We talked in previous videos about the different preference categories and what they mean. So here's how you can check your priority date and track your priority date to see how long it might be before a green card is available for your particular situation. Again, you can find the priority date on the I-130 petition, receipt notice, or the I-130 petition approval notice. So how do you track your priority date? There is a document called a visa bulletin, the visa bulletin that is published every month by the US Department of State, and it tells us more or less when a green card might be available for any particular category. So we're going to take a look at it. I'm going to share my screen for a minute for us to take a look at it and to talk about the different elements of the visa bulletin. So know that on the visa bulletin, there is a section below this for employment-based classifications. We have Sumner School Employment-Based Immigration Basics or Business Immigration Basics, a separate set of videos. So if you're interested in that, take a look at that. But today we're talking about the family-based preference categories. So again, this is the visa bulletin. This happens to be for February 2025 when I'm recording this video. And you will see a table here that says final action dates. There, across the top of the table, there are these countries listed: China, India, Mexico, and the Philippines. That's because no country can take more than 7% of the overall allocation of green cards available. We have so many would-be immigrants, meaning people wanting a green card from these countries, that they have their own separate cutoff dates. So if the beneficiary, meaning the person for whom the green card is being filed, was born in, not a citizen of, but was born in one of these countries, China, India, Mexico, Philippines, you would look in that particular column for the priority date information. If the beneficiary is born in any other country in the world other than these countries, you look in this category, all chargeability areas except those listed. It's sometimes referred to as rest of world, meaning every other country in the world. So then you want to look at the family-sponsored category, right, to see which category you and your family member fall into. So for example, if you are a permanent resident and you have filed for your spouse, you would fall into the F2A category. Then you see here these priority dates. These are the dates that are listed in these boxes here. So for example, let's say that you are a permanent resident born in Costa Rica, just making this up. Actually, it doesn't matter. Your country of birth doesn't matter. But let's say that your foreign national spouse was born in Costa Rica. Then, like I said, you're a permanent resident filing for your spouse. The priority date is January 1st of 2022. That means if your priority date is before that date, then a green card is now available for your spouse. If your priority date is on or after this date, a green card is not yet available. So this kind of concept applies regardless of which category you are, which category you fall into. For example, if you fall into the F3 category and your beneficiary was born in India, the priority date for February 2025 is July 1st of 2010. These dates do not move in real time. So that means this visa bulletin is published once a month by Department of State. The March visa bulletin should come out any day now. And when the March visa bulletin comes out, or whatever the subsequent month is, these dates may stay the same. They may retrogress, meaning go back, or they may move forward 1 or more months. So it's really hard to predict exactly when a green card is going to be available. So for example, if we go back to this F2A category for a beneficiary born in Costa Rica, the priority date right now is January 1st, 2022. Right now it's February 2025. So we might guess it would be more or less 3 years between, if a person files now, it may be 3 years before a green card is available. But that's a very loose guesstimate because, like I said, that date does not necessarily move in real time. It could stay the same, it could retrogress, or it could advance any given month. So that's kind of our best guess. But that is why the priority date is so important, because that priority date dictates when a green card is going to be available and kind of gives us an idea of how long you might have to wait. Like I said, that is absolutely subject to change and is definitely not written in stone. I also wanted to point out one more detail about the visa bulletin. You will see on the visa bulletin that we have this category that says final action dates and this category that says, or listing that says dates for filing for family sponsored visa. And it's 2 different tables that we see listed here. These dates, the final action dates, means that if your priority date is current according to this table, to table A, that means that a green card is available for your family member. So for example, again, if you're in the F2A category, if your priority date is January 31st of 2021, a green card is available and you should be able to have the interview at the US consulate, get the visa issued and come into the US, assuming everything else is on track. However, for the dates for filing, this table shows the dates that Department of State thinks will become current in the foreseeable future. So if you read this line at the top, it says it reflects dates for filing visa applications within a time frame justifying immediate action in the application process. So it might be that if your priority date, again, let's look at the F2A priority date for all countries, the priority date there is January 15th of 2024. Very different, right, from January 2022. It's a much later priority date. So in that case, it may be that Department of State would take action on preparing the case for further action, whether that's getting it ready for the interview, sending it to the US consulate so that it's ready to be scheduled for an interview, whatever the next step is. They may take that next step because they think it will be current within the foreseeable future. Again, not a guarantee, and that's absolutely subject to change, but that's why they're 2 separate charts. If your family member is able to file in the United States, if they're in the United States in valid status and they meet other requirements and they're able to file the adjustment of status here in the United States, it's tremendously important that we check to see which of these 2 tables, the table A or table B, USCIS, the immigration agency here in the US, is using. That's not anything you have to worry about. If you're working with us as an immigration attorney, we will make sure that you are set up to use the correct date and that you're filing at the appropriate time. But know that that's the reason they're 2 different tables, and whether USCIS accepts filings based on table A or table B changes every month. So fun. We have to check the USCIS website for that. So that is why priority dates are important, because it tells us A, when a petition was filed, and B, how long we might have to wait more or less until a green card is available for that particular filing. I hope that you have found this information helpful, and if so, I hope you will share it with a family member or a friend. Otherwise, I hope that you will subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss the next episode of Sumner School Family and Immigration Basics. Until next time, my name is Emily Sumner with Sumner Immigration Law, assisting clients from around the world with family-based and employment-based immigration matters. If you have a question or you're ready to get started on your case, absolutely feel free to reach out to us to set a time for your first consultation. You can reach us at 804-396-3412 or email us at info@sumnerimmigration.com, or you can go to our website and click schedule a consultation and we're happy to assist. We look forward to hearing from you, and until next time.